Hello, I am Archimedes from Syracuse, Sicily, and I believe that I should be the next Mediterranean idol because of my intelligence. I was born in 278 BC in Syracuse. Even as a young boy, I took great interest in mathematics and geometry. I am an accomplished engineer, mathematician, physicist, inventor, and astronomer. I got my education from the world-class scholars in Alexandria, Egypt. The school was founded by the mathematician Euclid. His use of geometry led to me solve many problems. There I learned to be the smartest guy in the Mediterranean. I then returned to Syracuse. One of my greatest challenges came when King Hero II of Syracuse came to me to measure the volume of his golden crown. I could not damage the crown in any way. I thought about this for days until one day I was getting into the bathtub and noticed that when I got into the water level rose. I was so excited I got up and ran through the streets naked, yelling Eureka, Greek for I have discovered it. I would measure the volume of the king's crown by placing it in water and measuring the displaced water. This method is still in use today. This led to the formation of the Archimedes principle. The Archimedes principle states that the upward buoyant force exerted on a submerged object is always equal to the weight of the water displaced by the object. For example, if a 7-pound weight was dropped in water and 3 pounds of water was displaced, the upward buoyant force on the weight would be 3 pounds. This means that the weight would only be 4 pounds underwater. Without this discovery, ships like tankers and other large military boats could not exist. As a mathematician, I am credited to be the first to correctly estimate the value of pi. I used the area of triangles to calculate pi. My exact estimation of pi was only off by about 0.07. However, I knew that the value of pi was between 3 and 1/7 and 3 and 10/71. My most famous invention is the Archimedes screw. The screw is used to lift water to higher places. The invention revolutionized the way water was lifted. It is far faster and easier than using a bucket to carry water to higher places. When something spins the screw, water gets trapped in between the threads, and as the threads spiral upward, it takes the water with it until water is released at the top. As you can see here, multiple screws can be lifted to lift the water higher. This allows water to be moved more efficiently. The screw was used to lift water out of mines. The screw is still in use today in sewage systems. I am also credited with the invention of the compound pulley. By adding more pulleys, less force is needed to move the weight upward. For example, if 4 pulleys were added, a 100-pound weight can be lifted with only 25 pounds of force. This invention is significant because if 20 pulleys were added, a 2,000-pound weight could be lifted with only 100 pounds of force. My compound pulley system is still used in things today like elevators and cranes. My invention of the claw of Archimedes, or iron hand, protected the island of Sicily. The claw grabs onto ships and uses a strong pulley system on the other side of a wall to lift the ship and then slam it into the water, sinking it instantly. The claw struck fear into the hearts of enemy sailors. Another invention I created used to sink enemy ships is the Archimedes death ray. The ray uses a series of mirrors to direct powerful rays of sunlight onto the wooden ships, causing them to burn. The ships are able to burn because the mirrors amplify the rays in order to heat up the wood to its burning temperature, which is about 900 degrees Fahrenheit. The ray was used in the siege of Syracuse in 212 BC. These 2 war machines were used to defend my city from invaders. As an astronomer, I was able to build devices that can accurately map out the path of the sun in the Earth's sky. I was also able to map out the known planets at the time. I used a series of spheres and water to correctly estimate the length of a year. I was even able to predict tides, eclipses, and even floods. There's also a crater in the moon named after me. My father was also an astronomer, so I learned a lot from him. In conclusion, as the smartest of the competitors, I, Archimedes, should be the obvious choice for the Mediterranean idol. Even the great Galileo referred to me as superhuman.